Welcome back to Danny Rants. Today I have a friend of mine and also a special guest, a unique character, none other than producer, I think the term would probably be, Slothy. And no other name. I know you've got a real another name and I know the real name, but everyone's always like, who is that dude? I'm like, it's just Slothy. He's like Madonna or Prince. There's no fucking second name.
It's like a mascot as well, like for the music industry as well. But
100%.
thank you, Danny. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming down, bro.
It's an absolute pleasure. We've known each other for absolute years.
Yeah, we have.
Working alongside each other. I actually jumped on your channel today and didn't realize how big you've become. And I'm like, fuck, Danny's pulling numbers, eh?
Yeah, I'm fucking
This is
doing
cool.
rap,
So
doing rap clip views.
I was like, fuck yeah, Danny, from just manager to literally having your own podcast. I was like I had a little proud moment of
Thanks,
you as
brother.
well. Just again, like we've been working for years and I've always looked up to the way that you move as well, as a manager and everything. Like we both do things in our own ways and we both have our own fields, but I've always been a fan of how you move, how you've come up in the industry and everything. I think it's absolutely fucking fantastic.
Appreciate it, bro. Fuck, that was a good wrap up. I'm getting interviewed right now. This is the Slothy cast.
Well, what they say, like you don't go for a job interview, you interview them if that job's for you. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's an interesting one because as you said, we've known each other for years now. I'm guessing like 6 or 7, maybe longer.
Yeah, probably longer because we met through Melbourne.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and Melbourne brought us together. I've been with Melbourne for 10 years.
Yeah. So I reckon 2016ish. So whenever that it was that I met you boys. And I remember when I first met you guys, I was sort of like, it's different. It's hard to explain. Like for people that don't know, and that's where I was about to go. Like with you and I, when we post photos or we're together or whatever. Straight away, like I'll get people message me like, who is that guy? What is that? Like, there's so many questions because obviously you have a unique style and really, I don't give a fuck look basically. But people, from everyone, I can be with people all the time, but by far, people always like, who is that guy you hang around with all the tattoos on his face? Who's that guy? What does he do? Rah, rah, rah. And the reason when I walked into that environment with you guys, into your studio, and it's like, SP, Sloth Productions, it's like, it's a bit synonymous these days and it's sort of famous. People, if they don't even know who you are, they would have seen it in the back of rappers' clips on the come up, and you've worked with some fucking huge artists, which we'll go into later. But then, other than that, it's people don't know that's actually you basically live in there. Like that's your house. Like your studio is like it's fucking your home in a sense.
Yep.
So when I first went in there, I remember seeing you and everyone there was covered in tattoos. I think I was the only guy without face tattoos, and there's no doubt it was daunting. But I basically got taken in very well and quickly, and then I became a part of the furniture for one part. Like we were there all the fucking time, hanging out. Just having a good laugh, And so I appreciate that. Like we're just throwing gratitude to one another. It's a different way to start the pod, but thank you for letting me come into your community because until I came, I was an invader into your community. You'd already stabilized that and you guys were already doing your thing, opposed to, me bringing people into my community, which I have in turn in the last 6 years. So tell people what you do. Because like, as I said, people always ask me, they're always like, what does that guy do that you hang out with? What do you do?
I just do a lot of things, eh?
You just work here?
I literally just work here, bro. Like anything that's like media related. So you would have found me like 2 weeks ago, we did that prank.
Yep. Yeah, he did too, yeah.
Like randomly he called me up to see if I wanted to be in a prank video and I'm like, yes, sweet. Like I go from that to I have my home recording studio as well, which I record a lot of music artists all over Australia. Then I also just recently opened up the Playground, which is my new photo and video studio. It's a very big complex. I monetize a lot of things online. I try to do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, and you do for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But my aim is just to do cool shit. That's
basically, yeah.
No matter what it is, like I've done several podcasts. I've had my own podcast as well. That I never aired. I just did like 15 episodes for a laugh with a few friends to try it out, to practice, to like see where they go and everything. It was pretty cool, but we never really went, like we do so much other stuff. Yeah. Like I've got the boys doing a music video at the moment in the studio while I'm here. So it's like, we're always doing something. Like,
but you started being a producer, like that started there. And like, I know you do so many videos, so many photos, film clips. You like a lot of the guys that I still use to this day, I met through you, like photographers and videographers and stuff. So effectively you're a creative, but producing was the first thing you did. Yeah. What got you into that and how did you get into that?
Well, I used to rap and I was terrible.
Oh, no shit. Were you a rapper?
Yeah, I was terrible. But I've played music since I was young. Like I played keys, I played guitar and stuff. And, I tried rapping and I tried, But when I started recording myself, I was more interested in the recording side of things. I didn't give a fuck about my lyrics or anything like that because I wanted to learn how to record, how to engineer, how to produce, and then like eventually I made my own beats and stuff. And that just I threw away all the writtens and I was like, fuck yeah, let's actually write music. And so I started writing beats, started putting them up on SoundCloud, and then eventually I just got found.
Yeah.
Just basically because I put out a lot of music. Apparently my music was kind of good. And then our mutual friend Melbourne found me.
Was he your first big guy, was he?
Yeah, Melbourne was, well, he wasn't even big back then, but
Yeah.
he's now like, he was somehow, he had some form of establishment and he was looking for a producer. And I'm like, bro, I literally just started. Like, if you're patient with me, let's fucking do it. And yeah, it took off. We've been working.
So were you
together
recording from
since
the
then.
get-go?
Yeah.
So you learned how to do all that stuff just from home, like yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it all like,
Because this is the thing again, like I'll dip into this. So going to Slothy's joint, he's got, I don't even know what the fuck they are, but he's got panels and machinery all over the joint, right?
it's
So
just
like,
a music studio.
yeah, but like what are those knobby things? And like, you know, I know that when we go there, you always carry on about how you don't have to like master because you've got the best processor and rah, rah, rah.
I
Run
have
us through that stuff.
I have an analog desk. So
Yeah.
like I run a lot of amplifiers and compressors through vocals and all that. So I take away three-quarters of the work by actually recording the tracks properly on the spot, like if you were recording them live and whatnot. Like a lot of what differentiates me from a lot of other producers, engineers and whatnot is my aim is not to record the track. My aim is to get the best performance out of an artist while they're in the booth. By getting that, I already done most of the work.
Yeah.
And then the engineering side of things is a piece of cake. Like
Yeah.
I've learned how to engineer as well, but it all comes down to getting the best performance take out of the artist and having the right gear. There's a lot of people that are, I know studios are just on the come up right now. And there's a lot of other small studios and I can see a lot of people learning and everything. And I know a lot of them are going to get to that stage and they're going to realize like all the work that they were doing, it's like not even needed.
Yeah, okay.
It's all about getting the right performance out of an artist.
And you're Taskmaster. Like I've been in the studio with you fucking ample hours with all kinds of artists.
I've recorded you. Don't tell people about this, but Danny Grant has actually put out, like you've done a record. Did you never put that out?
Nah, I actually put it on Triple J Unearthed as like a secret
really?
thing. Yeah, I know. I went to, and then it didn't upload properly, and I was like, eh. But it's funny, bro, because I got a couple of mates of mine. I should put it up somewhere.
You should. It's funny as fuck.
And then I put it. It was called Pub Brawl, the song. And I sent it to my mates. Some of my mates still listen to it.
Yeah.
So it lives in the ecosystem somewhere. But I fucking should.
I was very like, my brain was like not understanding
what I was trying to do.
What was going on, because I'm like, why is Danny recording the record? But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this slaps. Like,
this is random as. Like,
yeah, it was fucking random. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday.
And I messaged like 2 days before I'd written all his lyrics and I came with the song. Actually, the song done by a guy on Fiverr, and it was like the best way to explain it was like a real heavy rock, like Amel and the Sniffer type thing with like kind of rap elements, and then I was sort of like singing punk music, but it was like kind of rappy shit. It was weird as fuck. Yeah. It kind of worked. But back then I wasn't used to my voice, so now I should listen back to it and check it out. But I don't know if you know this, but originally the reason I got into rap was that I was in a rap group. Have I ever told you that?
Really?
So I was in a group called Hypnotic, and I was with John Farnham's nephews. So it was me and John Farnham's nephews, a guy called Leroy and Calza, and then they went on to do different bits and pieces, but we were called Hypnotic. And we used to perform with like ETs and Chapel Street and Ruby's, like which is now Suki Lounge.
Yeah.
So we did.
Oh, I know Suki, yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, I'm not gonna say we're good, but we had like a Triple J, like top 3 Unearthed 2 songs. Like we did okay, and then it just sort of fell to the wayside because I was partying too much. But that's actually what got me into rap. So from dance to rap was that I actually was in a rap group that was very early stages, which is almost embarrassing to admit, but that's how full circle, when I got back into it, I never ever fucking stopped caring about it because I loved it. Yeah. I loved Aussie rap, and when I saw those boys blow up, then I kind of nosedived into your scene, and that's when I sort of made myself known because I was like, fuck, I want this. I can see there's some momentum here, and I want to get back involved in it. One of the things I'll say about you when we do the studio stuff is you're a taskmaster. Like I was recorded with you too, but like you don't give a fuck. Like you're very unapologetic. It doesn't matter who they are. It can be effectively actual gangsters or fucking massive names. You're just there saying to people, go take again, take again, take again, take again. Like there's no fucks given. That's the same thing about your style, right? So you have an unapologetic style, with the tattoos and stuff on your face. You know, no one looks like you, in my opinion. How did you kind of build that confidence and to be like that in the studio?
I guess like just by doing it over and over and understanding that like energy is everything as well. Like I can't get I'm just gonna give away the source here.
Yeah.
But like you can't expect to record a like really energetic rap record by just being soft to the artist.
Yeah.
You're just gonna soften up the artist. And I'm sorry, but that ain't it. So like I also come from a pretty rough background myself. So I don't really give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's my attitude regardless. And I'll literally just tell the artist, no, do it again and whatnot. Or I'll rile them up like on purpose. Like I build that relationship with my clients to actually be able to like rile each other up because they'll do it to me too. But that way, keeping that energy up through a record, I think that makes a record.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well. Like again, like you can't, if an artist comes in sad, like has had a pretty rough day and whatnot, and you are not able to take them out of that and put them into their rap bubble, then you're not doing your job right.
You
as a
can hear it in the
producer.
music.
Yes, correct. Because you will hear it and you're not doing your job right.
And that's why you got guys like Melbourne who re-record songs 500 times.
Yep.
So like I'll listen to shit that he does and I'm like, cannot hear what he hears. And then he has to go back and record it. Like, but he's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never the whole song. It's literally like 3 or 4 lines.
Yeah.
It's never like, it's been a couple of times where we would like move verses around and back and forth like that. And it's like the energy's always there. Everything's always there. But then like he'll change. Like I remember he added both of his brothers in a record and then he kept on taking them out and putting them back in and taking them out. That record was done 4 times.
Score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not going to say their names, but yeah, they were taken out of the record and put back in. And just because of, there was like
Beef and shit going on. Yeah.
I didn't know if we could say that, but
Yeah,
there was beef going on with other gangs. And
because that's the thing people don't realize is that in that, and I guess it's probably a good transition to, right? Transgression, I should say, is in this rap scene shit. There, it's like people might look at it and go, oh, you know, I'll get a lot of people where it's like, you know, there's no gangs in Australia or gangster stuff. I've worked in it. I've seen it. Yeah, I've had the actual threats. You have. You know, like there's guys I don't know.
fuck yeah.
There's guys I know that you've worked with, which it's up to you if you want to go into, but like who are in jail. Yeah, like that have worked with you or have come out of jail and worked with you.
Yeah.
Multiple, even Melbourne is another one who's been to jail or whatnot.
Yeah.
There was times with, I'm sure, other artists too, where they'd say something that had to get cut out because it might have repercussions, serious ones in the street.
Correct.
Yeah, like so. These are things that people don't really, I guess, know. But like you've lived in that, and you yourself have also had those dramas. So, is there some stuff you can talk about with artists you've worked with, like having to deal with people and in this rap scene that are maybe affiliated with crime? I would say not necessarily gangs, but crime.
These days I kind of try to like steer away from it. So I've like, when I see that there's a lot of baggage with an artist, crime related and whatnot, I usually politely send them somewhere else. Just because I've gone through so much in my life and I'm at a really good steady pace with SP and our record label and everything. There's a lot of us that are actually making, we have grown out of it. We have grown out of like a lot of like the gang related, the drill and everything, blah, blah, blah. And we're actually making music that's got a lot more meaning to us and to everyone else than literally gang wars.
Yeah.
So every now and then it does come up, something does come up, or a demo gets sent to, I get demos all the time, and a demo gets sent to me and I can hear this guy like rapping about negative shit, gang related shit, and I just politely say no thank you.
And so from someone who's sort of been in the scene, much the same as myself, if someone was to ask you, is this shit legit? Where there people are having like, you know, where there's, I guess, crime, gangs, all this sort of shit, what would your answer be?
It just depends. I've had people in the booth rapping about shit and I literally look at them and I'm like, no, you didn't. Like legit, like I've had a client that stopped working with me because I called him out on it. I'm like, bro, like you live with your parents. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, because it reflects on me at the end of the day as well. Like a lot of my clients promote my business and I promote them as well because I have nothing but the mentality of like add value to your clients. So if I'm going to back my clients and push them and everything, I need to push legitimacy out there, if that makes sense. So yeah, those kind of things I just steer away from these days.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? Like that's a good kind of thing to bring up, but like that cap thing only exists in rap. Yeah, like so
yeah.
what, cap being people talking shit basically.
Yeah.
But it's like you do say that. You get these guys that come in like that from a private school, their parents are rich or whatever, and there's people that we both know, no doubt we'll talk about after. But they're just talking about fucking shit, that's not happening.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's something that really you have to struggle with.
It's very you can actually like once you've like I've done probably over 10,000, maybe over 15,000 records. Like there was a time where I did like 4 years straight where I was recording literally every single day. I've been recording for over 10 years. And you can hear it. You can literally hear it in someone's voice and someone's energy when like you've just adapted to picking up little bits and pieces so much in energy that you can just hear if someone's telling the truth or not. It can even be a singer that's singing about a broken heart. I'm like, bro, you never even had a breakup in your life. Like, what are you talking about? But it happens every day, I guess. It's just a part of being an artist. You create a lot of things, and sometimes you try and create things that you may have not gone through.
That's fucking interesting as. I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like ghostwriters in dance scene, right? Like people don't write their music, but it's like, it's the same shit. Like you get all these drillers, especially at the time when it blew up, who were talking about shit they've never done. Like there was guys talking about shotguns and shit. I'm like, bro, come on.
Today, I saw a reel from someone I know promoting one of their songs and talking about something that's completely out of bullshit. I'm like, no, you're not going through that. And I know you're not because I know you personally.
Yeah, it's wild.
But people are feeding into it, and it is helping a lot of people that are going through that. So I just let things be.
On that, so you've worked, I again know people that you've worked with, not necessarily they had beef, you kind of do a good job of that, but you are working with different groups, so they may be different. When I say groups, I don't necessarily mean gangs, but kind of gangs is what I'm saying. How do you as a producer separate that? Because, there's guys that potentially, if they were to bump in at some of your studios, they may punch on, like how do you sort of separate that being someone who's working with these guys in that sort of high risk music?
Again, I just work here, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've been really promoting lately on myself. Like I wouldn't even say promoted, but like one of my catchphrases, like when people just try and start talking about certain things, and I'm just like, bro, I just work here. Relax.
Yeah, I get it.
But there was you'll love this one, but one of our friends that was involved in gang wars and everything, blah, blah, blah. I was recording him and I was recording his friend that then became enemies. From two, and then he joined a different gang. Anyways, and I was recording both of them, and then it got to a point where they were both arguing with each other. They brought me in because I was their producer, and then they put me on the spot where like, hey, you got to record. If you record him, you're not recording me. So like, you need to pick one. I'm like, I beg your fucking pardon. Like, I'm literally just your engineer. Like, you guys need to sort it out. I stepped away. I knew who I wanted to go with. Because he was my day one and everything, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I needed to be neutral regardless. And he knew that. He knew that very well. And we let the other person fade off and go away. And then we touch base again and we're like, yeah, cool. So this worked out exactly how it should have worked out. Excellent. Let's keep going.
And what people don't know about the situation, not we're going to go into it, but that was fucking serious.
Yeah.
There was bloodshed, spilt and things like that.
That was a lot of people got hurt.
Yeah.
And, my studio got threatened, myself got threatened, and, it was just, it was a lot. And that's when I put my hands up and I'm like, bro, like seriously, you guys need to sort it out. I have nothing to do with this. Like this is in your personal lives. Like I'm your engineer. Like I love you both.
Is this, and this is like, I wasn't even going to go on these places, but now I'm sort of asking these questions for my own interest. Again, like these some of the people that you get through your studio, like some, I would say, like say studios that I work with wouldn't let them come, like because they're intimidated by them. They're maybe worried about who they're connected to. There's certain record labels that are affiliated to gangs and whatnot. You probably know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call them out. Where you've had them in your studio, but like, do you just not give a fuck? Like, how does it go from there? Because like again, like you have these people effectively to your home, and like that are people that probably people wouldn't let into a nightclub or into their studio. How do you sort of deal with that, or it's just like not a thing? You don't think about it.
I go by I follow my instinct. Some people will say yes, some people will say no, but I think it's a lot of instinct based from just being in the joint myself, and in a lot of things myself too. But I think it all comes down to instinct and or what they want to do. There's a lot of like gang related music that comes out. Like not 90% of it is gang related. We just said that, but like there's a lot of artists out there that like keep their music very serious, even though they are in gangs and everything. Their music's really serious and it means a lot to them. So they're not going to involve me in the life. And also, when we finish recording, I don't go back to a clubhouse.
Yeah.
I don't go back to their place, to their trap house. You know what I mean? And sell drugs with them or fucking rob places with them. No, I have nothing to do with that. I don't ask what they do either.
Yeah.
So if I don't ask, you know what I mean? Like,
You're like a
I'm
scary bank teller.
I'm not. Man, like
I get what you mean.
I don't like that. Is for you to, that is for you to do your own thing. You know what I mean? I respect that. Like, everybody's got a different lifestyle. Like, I'm not going to criticize you over it. I've done shit myself. I know what it's like. I know how addictive it is, and I know that there's ways around it that you can live that way, and that's fucking good for you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm here for the music. I'm here for the music. I'm here for the arts. I'm here for the visuals, because there's a lot of artists out there involved in that kind of stuff. But it doesn't make him a bad person.
Agree.
It doesn't make him a bad artist. It literally makes, it's just a human. Like, at the end of the day, like we're all individuals in this world. Like, we have all these rules and regulations that the government puts in, but at the end of the day, we're just humans. Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. You just have to fly under the radar and whatnot. I don't know if we can say these on your podcast right now, but like, if you know how to fly under the radar, then you can be a free human. I don't believe on a lot of things that get fed into us. And yeah, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. As long as you keep on bringing me good music. But the minute that you step into my studio and you start like doing drugs, caring more about drugs, when a lot of the times I try to not allow many people in my studio. I like to work with my clients either one-on-one or have a couple of friends over or whatever, but that's it. Like, I don't really let my clients get drunk in the studio, get drug fucked in the studio. If anyone literally drinks a little bit too much, get the fuck out. If anyone like cares about their drugs before actually recording, get the fuck out. Like, we're very serious about that shit. And I guess that divides those who are doing music because they think it's cool and they're in gangs and all that shit, blah, 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 and those who are actually musicians that choose to live a different lifestyle to others.
It's an interesting you said before, probably about a couple of minutes ago, but you said, I don't ask. So then when people ask me, they're like, oh, how have you dealt with, because I'm, again, knocking around these same guys you're talking about. But other than that, outside in the club world that I like, nightclub world, just be specific, especially in this podcast, there's, but when everyone's always like, how the fuck do you not get involved in it? And my answer is exactly the same. I'm like, I don't ask.
Yeah.
So someone goes,
because none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
Bro. Like,
so one of the boys got sent away or went on holidays or go to jail or whatever, or someone gets charged and they tell me, I go, okay. And then I don't ask. Yeah. Like, if a fight erupts, I don't ask why. Like, I just I take it on face value. And that's how I've always seemed to be able to avoid those situations, because I always think that once you know, you can then maybe get in trouble. When you don't know, it's easy to sort of like never be involved in it at all.
This is something that my mum said to me once, and I'll never forget that. She said, this is back when I went to jail, and this when I got out, it was before I got out. When she found out I was doing some bad shit, right? And she goes, don't tell me, because if you don't tell me and I don't know, I don't have to lie about it. And then it's easier for me to just be dumb.
True. Very good advice from your mum.
That's beautiful. You know what I mean? So I was like, cool, thanks.
So on that, prior, like, obviously you are working with a lot of these guys, drug addicts. I shouldn't say drug addicts, but some of them are. You're working with gang members, you're working with great guys who aren't any of these sort of stuff, whatever. But I guess one of the reasons, again, like myself, is that I have been around these people my whole life. You much the same have, but the thing that differentiates us two is that you did spend some time in jail. So can you mind me asking on that? And do you mind me asking sort of how you got there and how that kind of transpired?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Hit me, man. So at what point did you go to jail? I know was it before you were producing or during?
Nah, during. I guess like I was caught up doing shit too. Like, I was caught up in that lifestyle too. I was out selling drugs all day, every day with my partner at the time. And she wasn't selling drugs. I was. She was just there. And she was actually studying and everything. So lucky she didn't get into any trouble, because I was the one that got in trouble. And God bless her soul, she looked after me while I was in jail. She did all the right things. She brought me clothes, money, visited me, everything. But anyways, what I was doing was, I was swinging dope, and eventually I just got cocky and got myself a handgun. I was moving in a lot of weed, a lot. It was kind of cool back then. It was just like, yeah, cool, bro. Like, you know
Yeah, I
what I
get
mean?
you.
Yeah, like I'll never forget, like the day that I got sentenced, the judge does look at me and goes, "That is an awful lot of cannabis," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it is." But like, yeah. So I got criminal corrections order for all the drugs, and I had to serve a minimum sentence for having a loaded handgun.
And what's the time for that?
It was 3 months.
Yeah,
That
because I
was
knew
it.
I knew
Like,
you had to go to jail when you get caught with a gun.
yeah, it wasn't even that much. Like
Yeah.
I was really blown away at how easy like it wasn't easy.
Got off on it, yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, fuck, I'm going in for a while, eh?
Yeah.
But no, I had a good lawyer. And Ethan's been looking after me since then. My lawyer, shout out. But yeah, he's you kind of gotta have a lawyer when you're in this kind of business as well, just to ask when you're surrounded by so many people doing this kind of shit, and
Yeah.
just ask for advice. Simply just advice on like, hey, this is happening. Is this gonna be, if this lands near my business, what do I do? You know what I mean? And now we're still very clear since then. But yeah, so I did 3 months. And yeah, that was it. Got out and I had to do 2 years of criminal corrections order with going to drug and alcohol counseling. I went to university because I needed to get myself right. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go do a uni degree. They wanted me to do some form of education. So I went to JMC Academy and I slept through all the classes doing an audio engineering course while they were trying to get us to load an equalizer. And I'm like, bro, I literally just recorded 2 tracks like last night. Like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I just need the degree. And
Yeah.
but I learned how to write essays. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was it.
And so then you doubled down on the producing stuff, right?
Yeah, then I put my head down after that and I was like, all right, cool. Everything else can go away. I cut ties with so many people, like respectfully, like not like, fuck you, nothing. Like I got out, I'm like, hey, thank you for your time. Like this was cool, but I'm out.
Yeah.
And I had no plan B after that because it's like, all right, cool. I don't have money coming in from drugs anymore. I don't have money coming in from anything else anymore. I either do this or I'm fucked. I also have a criminal record. I have face tattoos. My mom's not going to back me. Like my mom's not going to take me in. After all this, I have no choice but to become successful in my career. So I think that's what gave me the hunger and drive to literally win.
Yeah. So the face tattoos. So that's where people always ask me about it. I can't remember if you said it, so I'm not going to say what I think you said to me. But when did you sort of get the face tattoos, and like what was it pre-prison, during prison? Like what was the thought process? Because you got some fucking pretty hectic ones. Like you can give everyone a look. That Pay Me is probably one of my favorites on the eyelids. Sit here. This is pretty fucked
we got
up.
like the
Lincoln
666 and Lincoln Bio, and I don't know, like my face is fucking advertisement these days. And my mate called me a walking meme not long ago. It was like all this stupid shit I got. But
I've gradually seen more and more come on your face throughout the years.
yeah, so like it's all started with getting SP tattooed on me. And that's how the logo originated. SP wasn't even a logo, it was just Sloth Production.
Oh, no shit.
And I was in Argentina, in South America.
Because you're actually from Argentina.
Yeah. I was in Buenos Aires visiting, I think I was visiting my family I don't know, I went back a few times for a few reasons. I think it was just a family visit. And I was like, I want to get SP tattooed on me. And then he's like, oh, you got a logo? I'm like, no. So we sat down and like went through a few fonts and he designed that. And so we got the SP done, came back to Australia, and then I took a photo of it, sent it to someone. I'm like, yo, can we turn this into a logo? They're like, yeah, sweet. So that's how the SP originated. Anyways, after that, like more tattoos came throughout the body and all that. And every now and then I'll be like, oh, cool, I'll get something else done and I'll get something else done. And then the line came across in the middle of a music video. I got that tattooed. So we had a tattoo artist for the music video and she was tattooing a couple of the boys. And I got her to tattoo a line on my face. And she's like, that's fucking wicked.
It's uniquely slothy.
Yeah, well, who else do you see with a line across their face?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like I forget it's there most of the time too. And yeah, just little bits and pieces came, and the 666 was the last one that I got done.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I'm pretty sure when I met you, you had SP and that on the side. So they've kind of gradually, you've been collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know, once you really start, you can't really stop.
So the thing I remember you saying, which I'm pretty sure was like you were talking about when you got face tattoos, you did it as a way to sort of like fuck you, because you said that if you knew once you got one face tattoo that you had to double down and commit to what you were doing. So you sort of did it as a way on purpose.
There's no going back.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I was like, fuck. I'm gonna get a face tattoo. You rev me up.
It's like the same kind of concept as the no plan B. Once you literally put a face tattoo on you, like society sees you different. Your whole life changes a lot. I remember being at the back of Heartbreaker, sitting down with Modboy, one of the most tattooed men in the country. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah,
of
I do
him.
know him. Yeah,
And old friend of mine, and I had only a couple of face tattoos, and I got that line done on me the night before, and we were out partying afterwards. He's like, all right, let's sit down. We're going to have a chat. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you got to learn some things about having face tattoos. I'm like, what's up? It's like, stop looking at people. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when you go through a shopping center, when you go in public, don't look at people. And I'm like, why? And he's like, you're going to make eye contact with absolutely everybody, because everybody's going to look at your face tattoos and you'll be seen differently. And I'm like, okay. And then I like picked up on it. And everywhere I go, if I look at someone, I make eye contact. It's just crazy. Like society sees you so different about it.
Yeah, so maybe it's a reflection on me, but basically, you know, when we did the Misfit Minds thing, the guys, there was a part, actually you said it, when I got all these guys, it was like 20 pretty scary looking dudes. Majority of people had face tattoos. And then I was like, oh, we're playing into that, you know, role or character that people believe that I am, that I know a whole bunch of dodgy people. And you yelled out, you do. So I was like, and we all sort of had a good laugh about it. But for me, I know so many people with face tattoos, and because I think it's because a lot of artists do. Like it's a thing now, especially in the rap scene, that I don't see it anymore. But the only reason I do is when either for reflection in my other life, when people will ask me about my friend's face tattoos. Yeah, oh, what did that guy with this one or this one or this one? I'm like, oh yeah. So I don't see it anymore. So this is another thing that's thing. You are one of the most interesting characters I've met, because you are fucking a man of many faces. You're also a porn star.
Oh,
So-
fuck.
So you're a producer, and I told you this earlier, a prisoner and a porn star,
Oh my
which is a
God.
bit of a
The triple
catchphrase.
P, eh?
So-
well, I'm not a prisoner anymore, thank God.
Yeah, ex-prisoner.
I haven't really done much porn anymore. Like I've been too busy focusing on the business side of things with the playground and SP and everything. But I went through a period of time where, I dived into OnlyFans because we were coming. I was during COVID and I was bored and I was like, what the fuck's this OnlyFans thing about? And I bought myself a GoPro, and I sold wanking videos to some people, and it was just like, it was so weird. But like I would like record myself wanking for like a whole minute. And fuck, this is the first time I say this out on a podcast,
What better place?
But like, yeah, I guess like I did that a couple of times, and then I filmed my girlfriend at the time, you know, sucking me off. And I was like making POVs, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And I got into it. And then I traveled Australia, going to different cities, meeting different content creators, and, you know, booking out an Airbnb for a week. And there'll be like a whole group of people, and we'll make movies back to back to back, like orgies, twosomes, threesomes, whatever. Like I filmed other people filmed me, and then there was like the full POVs and all that. And then I kept going and going and going, got into the whole Pornhub game as well, like went viral on Pornhub for a couple of things. And I got my cock tattooed, and that became my niche, having suck me please on my cock. And you know, that became the POV thing. So I'll film it where it says suck me please. And
What's
then,
the size? What font size? No, I'm joking.
it's like this little. No, it's actually pretty big. Like the whole thing like sits on top, and like it's suck me, and then it's PLS because
Yep.
I didn't want it to curve. I just wanted to be like, you know what I mean.
No, I get you. You're an artist, that's for sure.
Shout out Victory Fox for putting up with me for like 20 minutes trying to get that tattoo done. It was fucking stupid.
So when you got "Suck Me Please" tattooed on your genitals, how much did it hurt out of 10?
I had numbing cream all over it, so I didn't feel it. which was excellent. The hard part was trying to keep my cock hard when I couldn't even feel anything. So I'm like batting myself off while Vic is just sitting there like waiting with a fucking tattoo gun. And like every time that it will go hard, I'll be like, fuck yeah, like put it on the table, and she'll do a letter, and then I'll be like, all right, give me a second. And I'm filming with the other hand too. So like I filmed it, and that's already on my OnlyFans as well. But yeah, it didn't hurt. What hurt was the next day when I did my first piss in the morning. I completely forgot that I got my cock tattooed before it. And I like, you roll your skin back as a non-circumcised man. And fucking, that's when I felt it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And like, yeah, I like that first piss stung a little bit.
You know something fucked up, man? You're not the only person I know with a cock tattooed.
Oh, good.
One of my other mates, who passed away now, rest in peace, Aposta, but he had MOB down the middle of it. How good?
Man, I've got friends with like piercings through it and shit. And I'm just like, I think that like that's hectic.
He did. He had that too. I remember my nan, I was living with my nan at the time, and he just got it done. Yeah. And he came over and I was like, my nan's like a typical nan. Yeah. And I was like, Nan, Aposta got his dick pierced. And she's like, why'd you do that, love? So when you were working in that scene, and that's what I mean, like before I met you and what I was talking about Inner Circle before, I knew some interesting characters. So when I dove into with your world, I met so many porn stars, so many strippers, so many dudes with tattoos in their faces. It effectively inflated the amount of, I guess, interesting characters I had in my life. So you were running around in those circles pretty heavily. Like I know even now, like every time I'm like, my missus will be like, how do you know that person? I'm like, oh, she's a stripper, a porn star, or whatever. I'm like, how? I'm like, slothy. She's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, and for whatever reason, that rap world and that porn world at that time seemed to like merge together. Yeah. Probably partially because of the shit you were doing, but that's how it was. Like, why do you think it did merge like that?
I mean, it goes hand in hand. Like a lot of like strippers like rappers, and a lot of rappers like strippers. And like, I guess like that originates something and like puts two and two together too. But that's probably one way to look at it. Another one is like, we're all online.
All filming content all the time.
And we're all like hustling and promoting and all that. And then like we might run into each other and like, yeah, we just run into each other in the industry. You know what I mean? It's just like, you don't really... that we're the big faces.
Yeah.
Like it kind of puts you at that level. So you end up talking to other big faces.
Yep.
And
personalities, that's the thing. Yeah. So that's one thing I'll say is like in that clique, like everyone's a huge personality. Yeah. Which is good. Like I am too. So it's easy. But it's like I definitely look fucking like PG in that scene. But
you're a gangster. What are you talking about? And you know you're a gangster. Like you've got everything, bro. And you know it. Like
yeah,
it's great. It's
not face that yet. But soon coming soon. So basically on that, right? So there's all these different types of ways of making money. So obviously you're doing OnlyFans, you're doing whatever, producing. Run us through that. You know, like how do you make money? Firstly as a producer, and then I guess in the porn star thing, like how do you make money as a producer making music for rappers?
Well, as I said earlier, my aim is to add value to my clients and make my clients money. So I focus not just on myself making money, but for my client making money. If my client makes money, then I get paid too. So it is important for me to exploit a client. And obviously they make more money than I do. But when I exploit, it's hard to talk with fucking grills on. When I explode, say 10 artists, my percentage on that, becomes the equivalent to one artist.
So on that percentage...
But I've made 10 successful people.
So what is the percentage split? Like what are you taking from? Because people won't know this.
Yeah, well, I take roughly like 30%, usually.
And that's made up of?
Royalties.
Yeah.
So obviously I get paid for my time in the studio as well. And from that, so never spoken about this out
loud. It's weird, isn't it? Because we know, but like people don't.
How do I explain this? Like it's just
sort of three elements.
It's like so automatic. So an artist comes to me, they want to make a record, they want to blow up. Yeah, cool. We talk about how you're going to blow up, how you're going to become successful, how you're going to explode, right? From that, all right, cool. So we're gonna need to record this record. We record that record. I get paid for my time in the studio, so get paid $1,000 a record. And then on top of that, when we blow it up, I take 30% on the royalties for the support and help of blowing it up.
And the
Right.
royalties come from Spotify, the streaming platforms, and they also come from APRA, which is like a government streaming
Radio,
platform.
yeah. Now, sometimes a record doesn't go out. Sometimes a record doesn't explode, which is why I get my $1,000. I still got to get paid for my time. I still got to get paid for my expertise. I still got to pay for all the facilities. Like I can't just like do it
The rent, the
day
power.
by day for free and then hoping that like, oh yeah, we exploded a record, but 10 of them didn't. So like that record's not going to cover the other 10, is it? So that's kind of how it goes. It does get to a point with like very major artists. And there's like more people involved in percentages and royalty splits where those percentages drop. I can get all the way down to say 5%, and it happens.
Yeah.
But then again, there's like major companies that take full control of that, and it's just like, oh, cool, I just get 5%, 10% for the mastering or whatever because they've exploded the record instead of me, instead of the artist. These days, it's very easy to explode a record by literally just jumping on
Spotify playlists.
Yeah, or TikTok.
Yeah.
You make something viral. I've gone viral on TikTok for literally falling over a table.
Yeah, so for anyone who hasn't seen that, it's on Chapel Street Icons.
Icons of Chapel.
Icons of Chapel.
Oh, bro.
And it's Slothy, for some unknown reason, saying, film me. And then he steps over 2 tables and the table breaks underneath him.
Yeah, and I just eat complete shit. And I went viral over it. And you can like literally grab a video like that, put your song on it, and then like all of a sudden you've got like 50,000 streams. And then you've picked up, 100 fans, which is a very low ratio and whatnot, but blah, blah, blah. But like you've done nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you literally just advertised it that way. There's very easy ways to explode a song.
For sure. And that's the interesting thing for people that don't know. And like you're saying to us, it is like mechanical. Like I'm like, this is how you make money from it. But people don't even know. Like for argument's sake, this is probably a little good tidbit. But for 1 million streams, you get about $5,000 from Spotify.
Yeah.
So to me, and for 1 million streams on YouTube, it's like 7,000.
Yeah.
But people don't know. Like they're just the figures that you use. And it kind of all platforms chop and change. But to us, that's just common knowledge. Yeah. Like, and that's just streaming royalty. That's not APRA. That's not like there's a whole bunch of other ways to make money. But the OnlyFans stuff. So how do you make money off OnlyFans? Or porn or Pornhub or whatever? Like, is it the same shit or is it different?
Wow. OnlyFans is pretty, it's the same thing. You got to get people to subscribe to your OnlyFans. Like there's like different ways. There's so many different ways that you can navigate your OnlyFans. I have a OnlyFans page with, I think I've got about 60 videos on there. I've done over 100, but I've removed a lot of them. I only kept what I wanted to keep there, as I barely do it anymore, and it just sits there in the background. So like whatever I want to keep feeding. Anyways, you pay X amount of dollars to subscribe, and you get access to all the movies, right? So per subscriber, I get money in the bank. Obviously, OnlyFans takes a cut, just like Spotify.
What is the cut? You know? I'm guessing it'd be a good amount.
Nah, it's like, I can't even remember. I think it's like 15%.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking it'd be 50 or 30 or something.
No. It's nowhere near that big. But like, there's more ways to do it. So like, you can chat to people and like sell custom content. So like, I did a video not long ago where I pissed in a girl's mouth, and I made her swallow it. Right. So like, she's this is after a dominatrix scene where I duct taped her. And I whipped the crap out of her, like bruised her ass, everything, blah, blah, blah. And then halfway through it, I like grabbed her, put her on her knees, and because she couldn't move or anything, she was duct taped on her hands and feet. I made her open her mouth, and I started pissing in her mouth and made her swallow it.
Just to make sure this is all consensual.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
I swear I have to say that out loud.
She's still there, bro. Like, no, this is all consensual. There's always paperwork. There's always everything we do is professional. Like, if you are going to get ideas like that, you should really talk to your partner about like consent and having legal paperwork in place where states who's filming, when was it done, that people have permission, taking photos of driver's licenses as well, and people signing paperwork, giving consent, not just verbally, is very important in the industry. Again, this is natural for us. but it's just so automatic as well. I rock up. I don't do anything until paperwork is signed.
Yeah.
Anyways, and yeah, so I kept on making her swallow it, and that piece of content sells for X amount of dollars privately.
Just that one piece.
Yep. So instead of putting that up on the internet and letting everybody see it, if you want to see it, you can pay for that.
And there's a lot of people want to see this.
Yes.
That's so wild to me. Hey.
Yeah. You'll be surprised. Like, people are dirty as, like, in a good way. Like, people are so naughty. And it's a taboo. It's a taboo that doesn't get spoken about. But like, you literally grab a couple of people that don't talk much about it, and then like you fish a little bit and you realize that like they're nasty motherfuckers.
Because it's like hanging out with you guys again. Like, I hear this shit all the time, and I know like there was a whole bondage thing. I can't remember the name is where they would tie them up, but all the girls are Shibari. They're all doing that for a bit and whatever. And then what I always find interesting is that like I'll get friends to ask me about what you guys are doing, and then I'll be like, and then I'll basically say, you know, that like they must be making money out of it, because I know they're making money out of it. And then I'll ask everybody I know, does anybody purchase or consume this content? And they're like, nah. But I'm like, they have to. This is a multi-million-dollar industry. Like, people have to be lying to me. Like, someone, it's like, I don't know one person I know in my friendship group who puts their hands up and says they pay for OnlyFans, but they just got to, because there's too much money. And I know too many people who are rich off it for them not to be. Yeah. And so it's like a taboo, like you said. And I guess that taboo gets darker and darker and darker and darker.
Let's go back to basics. What was the original saying? Sex sells.
Yeah, true. Valid.
If you go back to basics, before music, before anything, sex sells.
Yeah.
So like,
it's never not gonna.
Of course, it's gonna sell. With Shibari is more of an experience.
Yeah.
Shibari is a one-on-one thing. Shibari is something that you connect with your rigger. The rigger is the person tying you up, and it's the experience and the space that you put a model or a girl, your subject in, and it has to be a safe space.
Yeah, I remember talking to a girl who did it at Sexpo. So I did the Sexpo tour. You probably came with me at some point for a year, because I was selling my product through it. And I met a chick that was doing the swing stuff, like whatever. Yeah. And I was like, man, I don't get this. I was sitting with her and she goes, it's not about the hurt, it's about the safety of the line. Yeah. And so she's like, what makes it people like attracted to it is that this person, you give away to them and they make sure you don't get hurt. So she's like, it's actually the safety, not the, like what you're seeing is not what I'm getting out of it. And I was like, fuck yeah, true. I didn't really think about it, but I think I'm still going to not get tied up and hung from a roof.
What do you mean? I've got a rigger waiting, bro.
Do you? So I'm going to start wrapping it up, but I'd love you. So some of the guys you've worked with are artists. Like, so what are some of the biggest artists you've worked with, rap and porn?
Obviously Melbourne. Melbourne's been with me since day dot. We both glued to
day
each
one
other.
For us, yeah.
Yeah. He's absolutely brilliant. Ryan King just dropped his record with him as well. It's good to see Ryan back in the scene.
100%.
At the moment, I'm working with like a lot of up and comers. Levez, for example, he's blowing up. He does a lot of comedy rap. Lil Sick, we've worked with 360. We've had 360 in the studio, Joel Fletcher. But all the SP boys like Xander Elwood, Courts One, she's coming up really good. And
so you have Flows De Leon too.
Oh yeah, we worked
Wombat,
with Flows.
Wombat. Do you have brothers?
No, we were going to do the track with brothers, but that never went ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Wombat was cool. It was really cool to work with. Very good musician. Same as Flows. I've done quite a few things with Flows actually. Flows was very interested in my OnlyFans because he was doing shit too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we had like a really good deep connection with that, and it was kind of cool.
Is he still out?
I don't know. He's this is funny. Like, we were looking for his Instagram probably like a week ago, and like everything's gone.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he had some beef with.
Yeah, I know about it. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Yeah, he had some beef with
stuff,
another company, and like I don't know, it all exploded. I just saw it all happening.
Yeah,
I have nothing to do with it. So again, I just work.
I was a bystander trying to work it out, but I was like, maybe a puzzle that doesn't need to be worked out.
Yeah, like so it was a bit fucked up.
And so, what about porn stars? So
I've worked with quite a lot of names. This day and age, I literally just work with like mainly the photographers and videographers that we shoot a lot of the models in. I've moved from porn to doing advertising and models.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So
some of the photo shoots you guys do, even though I'm not into that stuff, is like unreal. Like, they're so creative, so cool, so over the top. Was the one you poured blood over someone or some shit and they got banned?
Yeah, so that was Paige. Wow, that was cool. We made like 20. No, there was 2 buckets. There was like 40 liters of fake blood, which I made with Hershey's chocolate, food dye, and glucose. And yeah, we did like a blood bath.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So I bathed her in blood. I also painted a girl in black, like with black paint. That was Zoe Preston. Darthox, we did a Valentine shot with her, and we got a bathtub into the studio, and nothing but her in a bathtub filled with blood, and me holding on a knife to her, and her having like that connection of like fuck yeah.
What an explanation.
Yeah, right. And then E as well. I covered her in wax, and we had 200 candles around us. It took us an hour to light fucking candles, bro. There was 200 candles all around us, lighting the shot, and pouring candle wax absolutely all over her. But yeah, we do some very creative shit.
And for people who want to see this crazy shit that you do, because I don't normally do this, but this shit you talk about is actually crazy. How do they find you?
The Playground by SP on Instagram.
And your Instagram is?
Prod by Sloth.
Prod by Sloth. That's it.
Prod by Sloth is my main. There's a lot. Like it used to be just music, but like I've got my hands into everything.
Yeah.
Like I've literally started like doing photos, started doing video, and then he started all mixing and everything. So it's just like a bit of everything at the moment. Then there's Lord Slothy, which is my experimental account.
Yeah.
So I put a lot of things there that are like maybe a little too explicit for. I film a lot of girls. Maybe a little bit too explicit to put on my main, which is Prod by Sloth.
Yeah.
And then from that, I got the Playground where I got Corey Freeman, Ebb Society. Tara just joined our team as well, and we all do very, very creative stuff. Zacho Bro's working with us. I got Blacklisted Visions there today, shooting a video while I'm here. So yeah, it's cool shit.
Sweet, man. Thank you so much for coming down. That was a fucking wild journey and some crazy clips, no doubt. Yeah. I can't, and I know you supported us and you're a big drinker of it. I've seen you drink bottles of it in one session before when I had to kick you out of that Sexpo thing. But
I'm sober these days. I'm good.
You're a big fan of this product, no doubt, when you were drinking. Yes. So thank you and shout out to WP Shots. You can get it from First Choice, Liquorland, all good independents around Australia, or you can get it online, www.wpshots.com.au. Thank you, Slothy brother, for coming down. You're a legend, and that was a fucking yarn and a half.
Thank you, Danny.